A new report claims that tech executives, quote, will respect President Trump's ban on discriminatory DEI as he orders potential litigation and regulatory action against corporations and other businesses in the private sector that are promoting DEI and have DEI policies. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. Encourage you to head on over, become a paid subscriber. You get all kinds of articles such as this, where we cover everything from video games, movies, television, comics, novels, tabletop gaming. We've got it all. It is your place for pop culture. And support us over there. It costs just $5 a month, and you get tons of articles to read every single day. So talked about this in a video yesterday. He had an executive order titled Reforming the Federal Hiring Process and Restoring Merit to Government Service. Obviously, this one was clearly focused on the federal government, noting that the current federal hiring practices are broken, insular, and outdated. They no longer focus on merit, practical skill, and dedication to our Constitution. Federal hiring should not be based on impermissible factors such as one's commitment to illegal racial discrimination under the guise of equity or one's commitment to the invented concept of gender identity over sex. Inserting such factors into the hiring process subverts the will of the people, puts critical government functions at risk, and risks losing the best qualified candidates. The order then detailed that there is going to be a new hiring plan for the federal government. The government will prioritize recruitment of individuals committed to improving the efficiency of the federal government, passionate about the ideals of our American Republic, and committed to upholding the rule of law and the United States Constitution. It also declares that it will prevent the hiring of individuals based on their race, sex, or religion, and prevent the hiring of individuals who are unwilling to defend the Constitution or to faithfully serve the executive branch. We then got this memorandum from the Office of Personnel Management instructing offices and agency subunits to shut down DEI offices. It specifically states that agency heads should send an agency-wide notice to employees informing them of the closure and asking employees if they know of any efforts to disguise these programs by using coded or imprecise language. It then says that these agency heads are to send notifications to all employees of DEI offices that they are being placed on paid administrative leave effective immediately as the agency takes steps to close and all DEI initiatives, offices, and programs. It then orders that agency heads shut down websites, social media accounts, and other outward-facing media of DEI offices. You can see that right here. There's two more things here on the second page. It tells that it instructs agency heads to cancel any DEI-related trainings and terminate any DEI-related contractors, as well as to withdraw any final or pending documents, directives, orders, materials, and equity plans issued by the agency. All of this is to be completed by 12 o'clock Eastern time today, Thursday. So in about 40 minutes since I'm recording this video, it's 11:20 here Eastern time as I am speaking. It also says that agency heads must also submit a written plan for executing a reduction in force action regarding the employees who work in a DEI office and create a list of all contract descriptions or personnel position descriptions that were changed since November 5, 2024 to obscure their connection to DEI programs. And that has to be submitted by January 31st, right there. Written plan for executing a reduction in force. That is when that will be submitted. So they're going to fire all these people too. So not only do we get that with the federal government, there was another executive order titled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity. And this one is specifically focused, or it's not specifically, but it's focused on both federal and on the private sector, right? And in this executive order, President Trump observed critical and influential institutions of American society, including the federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, the medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, and institutions of higher education have adopted and actively use dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility that can violate the civil rights laws of this nation. Illegal DEI and DEIA policies not only violate the text and spirit of our longstanding federal civil rights laws, they also undermine our national unity as they deny, discredit, and undermine the traditional American values of hard work, excellence, and individual achievement in favor of an unlawful, corrosive, and pernicious identity-based spoils system. He is absolutely calling this stuff out and is not beating around the bush. I love to see this. Hardworking Americans who deserve a shot at the American dream should not be stigmatized, demeaned, or shut out of opportunities because of their race or sex. And this was happening. This is happening throughout America. They institutionalized this. The Walt Disney Company had this stuff. The Amazon has this stuff. Activision Blizzard on the video game side has this stuff. Sony has this stuff. It's everywhere. Microsoft has it because all of these major corporations had all of this stuff. And we're just talking about entertainment here. I mean, this was in higher education, financial institutions. I mean, he listed them all there. Major corporations, medical industry, commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies. They all had this. It was all institutionalized and was all done at the behest of previous administrations. And President Trump is doing away with this stuff. Never should have been implemented in the first place. It was wrong. It said it immoral. It was wrong. And it's also illegal. So this is huge, huge. These illegal DEI and DEIA policies also threaten the safety of American men, women, and children across the nation by diminishing the importance of individual merit, aptitude, hard work, and determination when selecting people for jobs and services in key sectors of American society, including all levels of government and the medical, aviation, and law enforcement communities. Yet in case after tragic case, the American people have witnessed firsthand the disastrous consequences of illegal, pernicious discrimination that has prioritized how people were born instead of what they were capable of doing. From there, President Trump reiterated his order to terminate all discriminatory and illegal preferences, mandates, policies, programs, activities, guidance, regulations, enforcement actions, consent orders, and requirements. He then charged, I further order all agencies to enforce our longstanding civil rights laws and to combat illegal private sector DEI preferences, mandates, policies, programs, and activities. So he reiterates the previous order to get rid of all of this stuff in the federal government. And now he's also ordering the agencies to start going after these private sector companies that have illegal private sector DEI preferences, mandates, policies, programs, and activities. Like, he's not messing around. This is excellent, excellent news. Excellent news. In a section specifically aimed at the private sector, the executive order says this: the heads of all agencies, with the assistance of the Attorney General, shall take all appropriate action with respect to the operations of their agencies to advance in the private sector the policy of individual initiative, excellence, and hard work identified in Section 2 of this order. The first part of this is a report that will be submitted to the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy that will, quote, contain recommendations for enforcing federal civil rights laws and taking other appropriate measures to encourage the private sector to end illegal discrimination and preferences, including DEI. We are eradicating this. We are outlawing this. We are censoring this ideology. We are censoring these practices. It will no longer be allowed in the United States of America. And this is a massive, massive win. Huge win. I loved seeing this. This is what, day 2, day 1. We're only day 3 now. Just absolutely eradicating this from society, getting rid of it from the federal government. And now he's using the power that he was given by the American people, because we gave him this power when we elected him, to eradicate this from the private sector as well. And he's going to send the federal agencies, send the Department of Justice after these companies that have been engaging in these illegal practices. The report will also include a plan whereby each agency shall identify up to 9 potential civil compliance investigations of publicly traded corporations, large nonprofit corporations or associations, foundations with assets of $500 million or more, state and local bar and medical associations, and institutions of higher education with endowments over $1 billion. So I find it interesting that he has those dollars there, indicating that he's going after these big fish that are really have been promoting a lot of this stuff, and is probably going to significantly penalize them, fine them, and kind of punish them for the evil that they were committing. And I hope he does, because justice needs to be meted out to these companies, to these people that were engaging in this behavior, this immoral and illegal behavior. They shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. Never should have been allowed. And they sold out. They sold the American people out. and they should have to pay for that. They should face justice. The plan will also include litigation that would be potentially appropriate for federal lawsuits, intervention, or statements of interest, and potential regulatory action and sub-regulatory guidance. So he's going to go after these people. He says that there's the potential for litigation here, as well as regulatory action against these companies, these institutions, even the law enforcement agencies, these medical associations, state and local bar associations. He's going to go after them all for promoting this stuff. And this is absolutely fantastic. One can only imagine what people over at Microsoft, over at Sony, over at all of these Ubisoft, these woke video game companies that have all of these policies, it's all well documented, are thinking right now. They have to be quaking in their boots, because not only are people rejecting this stuff, they're not buying it. We saw this with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. We saw this with Star Wars Outlaws. The laundry list of the games where people just were not buying them just adds up every single day. We're getting new ones that fail, like Unknown 9, Awakening. Not only are people not buying this stuff, but these companies are likely now to be fined, to be regulated by the federal government for not only creating these video games, but having the policies in those companies trying to push that agenda. So love to see this right here. And what's interesting, though, is we did get this report here. This is the whole video is all about, right? Is this report here from Christopher Rufo. He says, tech executives are telling me that Silicon Valley companies will respect President Trump's ban on discriminatory DEI. Many feel relieved that they don't have to pretend anymore. He shared a quote from, I guess, one of his sources saying, resistance here is basically dead. So that's interesting to see. I'm glad that they will be changing their policies, but I still think the fact that they had these policies in place to begin with, I think justice should still be meted out to them for that. It's good that they are changing, but they should still have to make restitution for the evil that they committed and they perpetuated on the American people. And I think they should still have to pay for that. And I hope President Trump makes them face the restitution that they should have to face. So this is excellent news. I think we're going to see an even bigger. This is excellent news. I'm loving this. I can't wait to see more of this happening. And I don't even think we're only 3 days in, right? So we haven't even seen the direct effects of this, but we're seeing this right here, right now already, that there will be no resistance to this. So we're seeing a direct effect there, but one can only imagine what kind of effects we will see as we move further on and Trump and his administration begin actually taking even more action against this. And it's not just these executive orders. You see the agencies actually going after these companies for these policies, etc. So should be really interesting to see how this goes. Definitely will be a story that we will be covering here at the Trump Report and on fanofpulse.com. But let me know what you guys make of this. What do you make of these tech executives now saying they will respect this ban, will respect this executive order eradicating DEI? And what do you make of these executive orders that President Trump has signed that are going to go after DEI? We are going to persecute these companies that have been pushing this evil DEI agenda. What do you make of it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth. And everything woke turns to crap.